a subscriber suggested series, Shavettes, this week on Barber Dave Shaves and Such. Stay tuned, because this could get bloody. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to a blessed Sunday here on Barber Dave Shaves and Such. This was a series that I was kind of regretting. I knew that eventually it would come up and somebody would suggest that I do some shaves with Shavettes. Now, let's go into what Shavettes are. Shavettes are basically removable blade straight razor wannabes. And I'm going to show you some of those right now and kind of go into the history of those. Now, I will tell you that I will not be shaving this series these next 3 days with the Titleist Essence. And even though it is a removable blade straight razor or Shavette, it is the closest thing to a true straight razor. And I'm not going to bore you with that. We're going to go a little bit, hopefully no train wreck type of video. So let's talk about Shavettes. When most people think of Shavettes, they think of this. Now, what that is there's a carrier on here that pops open. You take a standard DE blade, bust it in half, put it in the carrier, lock it in. Now, this one is pretty good. Although anybody that knows me and has known my shaving experience knows that I hate Shavettes, other than the Titleist or the Feather. That's it, because those mostly approximate a straight razor. The other reason why I hate them so much is when I first started shaving with a straight razor, I was given some advice, and this advice is given out quite honestly all the time. And what that advice is that if you want to learn how to shave with a straight razor, start with Shavettes. Well, once again, in my opinion, it's your shave. Those people that are giving that advice, they're more than welcome to do that, but I think it's bollocks. I think learning how to shave with a straight razor with a Shavette is the worst advice you can give somebody, and I'll explain why. Because you're going to get injured. And maybe I'm a little biased because the worst injury that I've ever had in traditional wet shaving was with a Shavette. So let's go into that. And another thing that bothers me about it is traditionally in today's barbering world, as a master barber, I believe in the old school. So when I shave somebody, I shave them with a actual straight razor. I strop, I hone, I maintain, and do that. Well, unfortunately, in today's world, most instructors in the barber schools don't know how to do that. And so what they do, and I should say that there are many states in the union that do not allow traditional straight razors under the guise that it can get infected, which is absolutely uneducated crap because you sterilize the razor. Anyways, so what they did is they went with the state legislatures and the state statutes say that certain states have to use a removable blade straight razor or Shavette in the various forms. Most barber schools, because you're paying a tuition and they want to be cheap, give you a kit. Now that kit comes with a Shavette. Now, this is traditionally the Shavette that comes with most. This is called the Magic by Master Barber. This thing is junk. You can find them cheap. Now, the way this one loads is different too. So that's a half DE blade. This comes out, and then you put the DE blade in that carrier and you punch it back in, this cheaply made aluminum. Well, here's the problem. You can see it right there. See how that blade's uneven? So you have to make that blade even, and it's not tight enough. So as you're shaving a client, or traditionally these, because most barber schools do not train barbers on how to completely shave, even though it's part of the national test or the state tests. These are more for shaving around the ear and shaving around the nape of the neck. However, they do train them on how to use these in straight shaving, straight razor shaving, which is crap. The problem that I see with with Shavettes, and like I said, if you use a Shavette and you like a Shavette, hey, more power to you. I don't recommend learning how to straight razor shave with one of these, because what'll happen is you'll injure yourself real bad and you'll just blow it off and you won't do it anymore. As with a regular straight razor, yes, there is a learning curve, but you've got a much wider surface going along the skin. It's a stiffer surface. It's not as thin, because remember, a DE blade is super thin, which means that the pitch and yaw has to be, your angle has to be perfect or you will dig in. And if you do a lateral move in any way whatsoever, you're going to cut yourself. So I will not be shaving with this because this one I think is unsafe. I don't think it's worth it. I have it just for memory reasons. Okay, so let's move on. Now, I will be shaving with this one, and I don't have Shavettes. I don't believe in them, but this one was given to me by Nurse Dave, and this is more of your traditional where you flip that cap, you separate the two things, and the DE razor blade is locked into place. This one is much safer because it also has some angles that come off of that blade that more approximate a straight razor. Okay, so I will be shaving with that, but let's go into what Shavettes are. Now, the one that started it all, and this is the one that I had my most injury with, it is the one I'm going to shave with today, and it quite honestly terrifies me. This is a WEC style. It's not a WEC, at least I don't believe it is, a WEC style blade. Now, traditionally they were called salon razors because you would have a guard and you could actually cut the hair. I don't use these to cut hair. I have what they call a different style of razor for cutting hair when I do the Roffler sculpture cuts. But this came with a guard, and the guard just basically slips on and you tighten it up. But this removable Shavette or straight razor, there's the blade. And you can see how thin that is, and that's the exposure. When I first was given advice to start with a Shavette, everybody said, "I'll try the WEC, they're not too bad," and everything else. I cut myself from here to here, and it required stitches. And I said, no, I'm going to do regular straight razors. Because, yes, if you're going to shave with a straight razor, you have to learn how to strop. You don't necessarily have to learn how to hone. You can send that out. But it is more work and the learning curve. But this thing is death. Now, a lot of people love these and say, oh, they're easy to use. So we're going to shave with this today. Now, as we move forward in the evolution, the first generation was the Feather Artist Clubs, and that's this right here. It does use a longer blade. It does approximate a straight razor. It's not quite as good, in my opinion, as the Titleist. The Titleist is just, it really, the engineering behind it as far as being as close to a straight razor as it is. This one is fun to use. I have this in a folder and a cami. We'll be using the cami this week because we've never used it before. Now, as far as the last type, believe it or not, are these. A lot of barbers use this. This is called a salon razor. And they use it because it is sterile and it's a one-time use. A whole box of these were given to me by CBL years ago. But this is it. Very lightweight plastic. It opens up and the blade is in there. You can't take the blade out and it snaps so you can use it like a straight razor. We will be using this as well. So those are really, and there's a multitude of different types of Shavettes out there. I'm just using the ones that I have. So we're not going to be using the guard today. This will be a little bit longer of a video because I'm taking my time because I personally don't like Shavettes. I mean, if you're going to shave with a straight razor, go ahead and spend the money, get a real straight razor, learn how to shave with it, learn how to strop, eventually learn how to hone. It's more traditional. And that's what bothers me about the whole barbering thing is there's probably less than 1% of us that are barbers that are actually practicing right now, maybe 2 to 5% that actually give straight razor shaves the traditional way with a straight razor. So, but like I said, if you like to use Shavettes, hey, more power to you. I am not one of them, but let's see what happens. So this could be like the big wreck. We'll see. Because I have not used one of these razors since my injury, so it's been years. I did not pre-lather today. We'll go over all the stuff we used down the road a little bit. But yeah, I was regretting this, so, and I don't have it right here handy, who suggested that I do a Shavette series, but I was regretting it. But I said I would do it, so here we go. This could be very, very interesting.
911 said they couldn't hold an open line.
Excuse me?
911 said they can't hold an open line.
Yes, my lovely assistant, if you didn't hear that, said that 911 could not hold an open line for me. So we shall see. Now, I am using a soap that I believe has enough glide and slickness. What I should have used was Williams, but I didn't think about it, or any of the CBL products. But I haven't used this soap in a little bit, and I love it. It's the last. They don't even make it anymore. It's from Scotland. So we shall see. I am going to over-wet this soap because I've never been able to break it, but I want to make sure it's as slick as possible, especially for 3 passes. Also, another thing that you're going to see when I'm doing the Weck style razor is normally, as you know, I do cross-handed. I will not be doing that with this because with the cross-handed shave, there is a scything action. And as I said, with the Weck, it is so thin blade-wise, just like a DE, that if you start doing any scything action, you're in trouble. So I will do the more traditional. Okay, here we go, guys. And if you notice, I am being very careful with this razor, because if you also notice, it has points on either side. And if I get too close to my ear or my mouth, blood. Also, one thing I do with these Weck style razors is I do longer shave strokes, because I just don't want to put anything in Murphy. So now where I get in trouble is in here too. Like I said, I just don't believe that Shavettes are the way to go as far as straight razor. Now with the Weck, it is a longer blade, so it more approximates the straight razor. Tomorrow when we get into the regular DE Shavettes, that's when you have to be real careful with your lateral and your pitch and your yaw. And as I said, this Weck style terrifies me. It does provide a great shave, you know, as good as any DE style razor. But it doesn't approximate the feather or the Titleist. And as I said, the reason why I'm not using the Essence by Titleist this week is to me, it's a straight razor, period. And I use it so much. I don't think it would be a fair representation of what my subscriber wanted to see in a Shavette razor. I think tomorrow is more what he's looking for, but it's still, you know, this is still good because Weck is very possible. It is a fairly comfortable razor to use. It's very lightweight though. And here's where I got in trouble the last time. And one thing you'll notice, if you notice my technique with this, is I don't break my wrist at all. I keep that as locked as possible on those side strokes, because if not, it opens up some chances for not good things. Now you can use these with the guard. I don't recommend it, but you can use them. But like I said, I would wait until you're very, very experienced in regular straight razor shaving before using one of these. That's just my opinion. And I know that that goes against the conventional thinking and the conventional advice that most other YouTube channels will make, saying, oh yeah, start with a Shavette. It's easy, it's fast, no problem. I don't agree. Okay, so far so good. It is providing a good shave, but to me, with these type of razors, Shavettes, you have to really make sure your facial prep is correct, no matter how you do that, whether you use a pre-shave, whether you don't use a pre-shave, whatever the case may be. I mean, the mechanics of the shave are the same as with a straight razor. However, because of the thinness of the blade, DE thin. Because as you know, with a DE razor, obviously it's DE thin, but it's also curved. And it also usually has a safety guard or an open comb, where this is as straight as it comes. So how you manipulate that razor is extremely important to save yourself from cutting yourself. Because with a DE, you may cut yourself like this. With one of these, you'll cut yourself like that. This is also a razor that I will not, as I said earlier, I usually will not do any scything action because of just the chances to be cut. Now, does that limit how good of a shave I get? Well, a little bit. And also, stretching is really important with these. I almost got caught right there, right on my chin. I felt it, but I don't think it happened. And you definitely do not want to be in a hurry with this type of razor. And just like a regular straight razor, you want this thing to be moving before you touch down. Yeah, the fool's pass is a real scary part for me with this. And I don't manipulate my face muscles as much when I'm using this as opposed to a straight, because I want the blade to do it. Really nice shave, not DSBBS. And as far as cleanup, very light. I don't do any buffing with this or flat blading. I just do a little bit of strokes to clear off any excess. Well, what the heck, I'll try doing some buffing, because this shave went pretty well. Ooh, that's scary. And while I'm at it, let's try flat blading. You really can feel this thing wanting to kiss and say hello. Well, she was forgivable today. Let's see how rough of a shave it was with the alum. I would say BBS. I wouldn't classify that a DS BBS shave, but it's a nice shave. Alum's not too bad, believe it or not. I did where I thought I was going to catch myself. I think I did poke into the blade because I didn't have the angle correct. But that's the biggest key with these Shavettes is your angles have to be perfect. So not too bad. I'm glad I did it because, like I said, I have not used this razor since my big injury. Oh, it's probably over 10 years now. They are an aluminum razor, and they do have the removable WEC blades. Now, I'll show you how the guard works, and basically it just slides on. I don't have my glasses on, so bear with me a second. There we go. So that goes on, and then you tighten up this screw. And so you could use it for hair shaping and stuff like that. I've tried using this, and I prefer a different style, an Italian razor that's made for hair, cutting hair with a razor. And one is the Roffler sculpture cut, which there ain't too many of us left that do that either. I'm an instructor in that discipline. And it's a lot of fun. Okay, alum's rinsed off. Today we're going to be using Litsea Kubebe by CBL, his witch hazel, which is very, very nice. Very antiseptic, and I would say citrusy, more on the lemon side of things. Okay, let me clean up real quick, and we'll go over what we use. Now, I hope that give you a little bit of a background on Shavettes. We will be using, I'm not sure tomorrow whether we're going to be using the one that you get out of a package or the actual true Shavette. Probably this one, but we'll go over all that tomorrow. So I hope that that's what my subscriber was looking for when looking at shaving with a Shavette. And the good news is you can put the ambulance on stand down, Miss Assistant. Okay. Our soap today, we used Aran Aromatics, which they don't make anymore, and it's in this beautiful river stone, and it weighs as much as a rock. And it is Locranza, which is patchouli and anise with some sea, almost a kelp type thing because it comes from the Scottish coast. So it's wonderful. For the aftershave today, we are going to be using the Locranza Aftershave Balm, which normally in the summer months I don't use, but I wanted to keep the scent profile the same. And very soothing. I didn't get much irritation out of the shave as much as I thought. And the muscle memory of those came out pretty good, surprisingly. For our talc today, we are going to be using good old Clubman. Oops. Now this should be a ghosty type puffiness. If you like what you're seeing, please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. We usually do our videos on the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And please comment and share this video with your friends. We're trying to build a channel. we're at 1843, or no, 1848. So we're getting closer to 2000 because I really want to give away some stuff. Also, for those of you that were interested in the Doc Holiday, the first batches are going to go out on Monday or Tuesday. What else? Also, we're back finally Tuesday night, 5 p.m. Pacific. Drinks and Dave's, our live talk show with my good buddy Nurse Dave. And then please come and join us at the Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com. Free to join, self-policing, no moderation other than the owners. We have a concierge staff that's to help you navigate a big site like that. We'd love to have you. Okay. All right. And for the EDT today, we are using Locranza. This is another one that's equal that can be used in winter and summer because it's got some nice bright notes, but it also has some deep notes. Okay, folks, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Barber Dave Shaves and such. I hope you enjoyed the kind of the Shavette series that we're doing. We are going to be shaving all 3 days this week, God willing. Don't have a lot going on. So we'll go into probably tomorrow, as I said, we'll probably do the traditional Shavette. And this one is by Wilkinson Sword. Not a real good shaver, but not bad. And then again, today we use the Weck style without the guard. I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave Shaves and such. Thank you for being subscribers. We love you to death, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.